Question 2. I have MAPS, middle-age pull-up syndrome again, second time. I have been so careful with pull-ups and not overtraining, but a task with a sledgehammer gave it to me in my right arm. Other than resting, what have you found to be most useful in recovering from MAPS? What can I do to build up the strength resilience to be less prone to MAPS going forward? You know, when I wrote this book, one of the chapters in this book is I would like to apologize to everybody about the cult of pull-ups and chin-ups, because for most, I went through, gosh, I'm going to say maybe 24 weightlifting books written in the 40s, 50s, and early 1960s, pre-drug era. And, early 60s, but, very rarely were pull-ups mentioned. And I was talking to some older guys who also, like I did the President's Physical Fitness tests in school, which I still think we should do. I think they're marvelous. You, as a child, you get a chance to figure out what you're good in. The only time we did pull-ups was for that test, though some of us would train up a couple of weeks for the test. I think it's only in this millennium, since post-2000, is that the pull-up has become, I got to be careful here, because, someone's going to, cite some video, movie, some article. But for most of us who were there, the pull-up was the thing you tested on. It was like the shuttle run. No one ever worried about the shuttle run until we're asked to do the shuttle run. And if you don't know what the shuttle run is, I don't know if I can even explain it to you. You ran back and forth, at least at our school, picking up little sandbags and put them to the other side. The first thing I'd recommend is maybe it's time for you, Andrea, to retire from the pull-up and chin-up stuff. And it's sad to see that the sledgehammer gave it to you too. But anybody I know who gets golfer's elbow or tennis elbow tells me the same thing, is once you get it, it is really hard to get rid of. One thing I do think there's value to is making sure you work on your wrist mobility and making sure you work on your shoulder mobility. I have a physical trainer friend of mine. He's a physio for the Europeans. And he's a real believer that anytime you have a joint in the middle of two other joints that keeps going bad, makes you spend quality time focusing on those other two joints too. If you got a little tweak in your shoulder, it could just change the physics, the biomechanics enough that everything just goes right into that elbow. True or not, I'm just telling you. I get a lot of, there's always a lot of advice following this particular question, but, I know people have told me that, putting on, there's a tennis and golf elbow compression thing that you can put on here that gives support. It's a kind of a full-time, a permanent, not a permanent, you can take it on or off, but it's just for the elbow. That helps some people. But sadly, it still goes back to rest and not re-injuring it. But like you say, you keep doing it, and you just might be at a place in your life where you need to maybe focus on your lower body for a few months. I don't know, do a really hard squat program or front squat program, or I don't know, a bunch of hinges or whatever, and let that, just kind of ignore it for a while. Remember, if you're working your legs, every time your heart pumps, all that good stuff, all the amino acids and all the magic stuff, also pumps through every other inch of your body. So whenever you have an injury, I still maintain you should train, but just avoid touching the injured part as best you can. I know it's not the best answer I've ever given, but I always feel like I should have a fundraiser. Each day in America, people are afflicted with middle-aged pull-up syndrome. Well, thank you. Let me know how it goes, and rest it, and let's see if that helps. Okay, thanks.